You can imagine that when we get, I'm going to be optimistic here, when we get regulatory approval, this methodology has application to additional products as well. You might think Ripple, Solana, name your underlying token. This could be extensible to other digital assets. It could also be extensible to other types of assets as well.
Cboe has announced continuous futures for Bitcoin and Ether. The futures will mimic offshore perpetual contracts, but will be structured as long-dated cash-settled products with a 10-year expiry. Joining us now for more on the products that will launch on November 10th, pending regulatory approval, is Global Head of Derivatives at Cboe, Catherine Clay. Hey, Catherine.
It's so great to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's so awesome for you to be here, too. I like to start this show with a very broad question for all of my guests, and that is, when it comes to the crypto markets, what have you been paying close attention to lately?
I mean, there's so much happening in this space right now, right? It's like daily. There's something new that comes out that you have to pay attention to. We try to stay focused at Cboe about really building an ecosystem around digital assets. We do that through our ETF listings, both in Bitcoin and ETH. We do that in being the first ones to list index options on a basket of ETFs that we created. And we've always thought about how do we innovate into this new space in the futures area. So as you started this show in this segment, it's exactly right. We announced this week that we're heading into the perpetual world by bringing continuous digital futures in Bitcoin and Ether November 10th, still needing regulatory approval, as you also said.
I want to talk more about that in just a second, but I know that this announcement was made, I believe, at the Hood Summit. That's Robinhood's flagship retail trader conference. And that concluded yesterday. Before we started talking here, you were telling me about what a vibe it was. I want to talk about some of your big takeaways from the conference.
It was really incredible. When you get 1,000 of the most passionate, enthusiastic, educated, and active retail traders in one location, I mean, it's just electric. What they're interested in, what they were talking about, the unveil of new features on Robinhood for their client base was just extraordinary. So I left that conference feeling so energized, just being among the masses of really, really dedicated traders. And they trade digital assets, they trade traditional assets, they are really a knowledgeable base, but it was just a fascinating, energizing, a great conference.
What are they interested in? What did they say they want?
Oh, they want 24/7 trading. They want access all the time, and they want access to a bunch of different asset classes and products. So really, they were talking about really moving more fulsomely into futures. They mentioned that they were adding Cboe's index options in the overnight session, which we offer. And they were talking about things like prediction markets, things that are more on the cusp of the investing landscape. So it was just a wide variety of topics, but the themes were really clear. They wanted access all the time to as many products as possible.
On the other side of this conversation, we have the institutions, which I know you collaborate very closely with. What are institutions asking for? I imagine the same thing.
We always believe, and institutions think this too, that the healthiest marketplace is one that has a diverse set of participants. And the retail segment is a huge part of that dynamic marketplace. And the institutions want liquid and lit and high integrity markets. And so I think that's what we focus on for institutions, is making sure if they come in and they put on a position in whatever product we offer, that they're able to get out of that position in a reasonable manner with high integrity, a lot of transparent liquidity. And those are the ecosystems that we really endeavor to build here at Cboe.
All right, let's talk about these perpetual style futures. They're coming to a regulated US market. Tell me about the products and what makes them fundamentally different from a regulatory and structural standpoint.
Yeah, so perpetual futures are really just a way for investors and traders to get exposure to basically the spot underlying Bitcoin or Ether products in a levered and long-term perpetual way. And so really, when you think about maybe some of the difficulties of getting access to the spot crypto, these are actually just regulated futures that have, in our case, a 10-year expiry on them, which really makes them a long-term investing vehicle for investors. You don't need to roll them all that frequently because they're not expiring like normal futures. And so you can stay exposed to the asset class in a way that in the futures market is kind of not here in the US before. I'd also say these are a method for people to short crypto, which is difficult to do from the spot perspective.
Talk to me a little bit about the funding rate. How are they maintaining the peg to the spot price? And what does this mean for traders?
So we have a daily reconciliation to where the future is versus where the spot is trading. So once a day, we'll do like in essence a true up of where the future is versus where the spot is trading. And so it would be once a day where that funding mechanism is methodically applied to the customer's accounts. It's very common in futures today, so it's really right within the infrastructure of the futures market.
I know you're waiting for regulatory approval and you probably can't say much about it, but what needs to happen for this to get across the line and be available for traders?
Yeah, I mean, we have November 10th as our aspirational date to launch that, and we're ready to hit that date pending the regulatory final approval. So we're all good and ready to go, just hopeful that we get that final okay.
Talk to me a little bit about the retail angle here. You know, a big portion of the offshore perpetuals volume is from retail traders. Talk to me about how you're planning to capture that flow from platforms known for high leverage and different user experiences. Talk to me about bringing those folks over to your platform.
Yeah, so Cboe is not a direct to client or direct to retail platform. We rely on our partners, the broker dealers, the FCMs, an intermediated model to our exchange to bring those clients, their clients to our exchange. So we work very closely with those participants to make sure that when we build these products, it flows nicely with their middle and back office systems. And then it's their choice to bring their clients to our exchange or not. But we do not go directly to the clients. We really work with the intermediators very closely to make sure this product fits their systems.
Now, we started this conversation talking about the ecosystem that Cboe is building when it comes to digital assets. We're talking about Bitcoin and Ether now, but where are you looking outside of the products that you are already offering and the ones that you are waiting regulatory approval on, like this one?
Yeah, you can imagine that when we get, I'm going to be optimistic here, when we get regulatory approval, this methodology has application to additional products as well. You might think Ripple, Solana, name your underlying token. This could be extensible to other digital assets. It could also be extensible to other types of assets as well. So, we're trying to just get these first two over the line, and then I think you'll see us innovate quite quickly in this space.
Can you tell me a little bit about the reaction you had from folks when this was announced?
As I said, these traders want to trade like so many things. And so when we announced this at the Hood Summit, I mean, there was definitely sort of an uproar of excitement and can't wait to trade this. And coupled with the features that Robinhood's rolling out to their base, it just makes so much sense to the clients. And there was just so much enthusiasm for the product. So I expect it to be quite popular.
Kathy, thanks so much for joining the show today. You are welcome back anytime.
Well, thank you.
We look forward to that date in November.
Thank you. Appreciate being on the show. Appreciate it.